Occasion, the groundbreaking for the new high school in Draper. We think that certainly deserves a round of applause. We're hosting this event for several reasons. First, to celebrate the fact that this day has finally arrived. For many of us, it's been a long time coming. Too long, in fact. I have no doubt that many of you have wondered if this ever actually would happen. But it's here. And Canyons District is proud to announce that it is holding true to its promise to build a high school for the families in Draper. We're also here to celebrate an important milestone. Today is historic, ladies and gentlemen, because it is the first time we break ground on a new school in Canyons District. Most everyone here knows who I am, but in case I have not had the pleasure to meet you, I am Cheryl Taylor, the Vice President of Canyon School Board. I'd like to recognize my friends who join me as your hosts this afternoon, the Canyons Board of Education. They are here. Please raise their hands. I'd first of all like to excuse Mr. Tracy Cadell, our president. He couldn't make it today, so we'll excuse him. Mr. Kevin Cromar, Mrs. Kim Horiuchi, in the back, Mr. Mott Millerberg, right over here, Dr. Paul McCarty, and Mr. Steve Wrigley. Can we have an applause for the board? The work involved in launching a school district can be described in many ways. It's an opportunity, it's a challenge, it's an honor, and it's a thrill and a pleasure to work alongside all of you who have made Canyons a district of distinction, a district dedicated to community engagement, a district that celebrates the highest standards of educational excellence. Today would not be possible without your support. Without your help, it would be very difficult, if not impossible, to raise community support, student achievement, and in a broader context, the next generation of leaders who leave our schools ready for the rigors and demands of college and the workplace. As you all know, last year we oversaw a successful $250 million bond campaign to build and renovate our schools. Thanks to your vote of confidence this year, we are able to start an ambitious construction and renovation schedule that will have us turning dirt in every part of the district in the near future. At this time, we'd like to extend our thanks and appreciation for all those who made it happen. One person who has been instrumental is our superintendent, Dr. Doty, who will speak to us for a few minutes about this journey we've taken on this historic day. Dr. Doty.
Thank you, Cheryl. It's a real pleasure and an honor for me to be here with all of you today on this beautiful day and on this momentous occasion. When I accepted the offer to become the first superintendent of this new school district, which I think, as most of you know, is the first new school district to be created in nearly 100 years in Utah, I immediately recognized that the challenges ahead were almost too numerous to count. With the creation of the new school district, we, the administration and the Board of Education, felt as if the public had given us a charge to provide a new type of school district, one that embraced the all-important, all children are welcome public school philosophy, while also incorporating community engagement and customer service protocols that have been successfully embraced by the private sector. In moving forward to meet these challenges, which included badly needed, new, and renovated schools, we have reached out to engage the public every step of the way. We truly wanted our parents, employees, and students to be invested in the success of our schools. The design for this new school was made in exactly this type of collaborative fashion. While the design was the brainchild of our architects, Sandstrom & Associates, and I'd like to personally thank Steve Sandstrom and Curtis and the others at the firm who have been instrumental in the design. It was completed after a series of town halls and open houses, many meetings with our good friends at Draper City Hall, and many discussions with our staff and the Board of Education. Indeed, I would submit to you that this new high school is being built in this community, by this community, for this community. And just as a little personal aside, I wanted to add that I feel some personal connection to this school and to this community and its history. My great-great-grandmother was a woman by the name of Laura Adelaide Draper. And my great-great-great-grandfather was William Draper. And so Mayor Smith and I share some family history in that regard. And so my own family's roots run deep here. I don't live in Draper currently. I live almost in Draper in South Sandy, but that family history is important to me and my family, and so it's a real thrill and honor for me to be here after so much has happened over all the years of the Draper pioneering history. As many of you know, Horace Mann, a pioneer of American public schools, is a personal hero of mine. More than 160 years ago, he eloquently stated a philosophy that should be remembered today, especially here in this community where just across the freeway we have a state correctional facility also within the confines of Draper. And Horace Mann said this, quote, "Jails and prisons are the complement of schools. So many less as you have of the latter, so many more you must have of the former." So thank you for being with us here today. It means a lot to us that you'd brave the elements of a wet and cold spring, which thankfully turned beautiful today, to participate in this groundbreaking. I'm proud to be the superintendent of this district where our motto is preparing students and building the public. I just want to add in closing one heartfelt thanks on my part to two important groups, one being our Board of Education. As you know, there have been many challenges in getting this school district up and off the ground. Financial challenges, political challenges, legal challenges, and so forth. But I just couldn't be more delighted to work with such an outstanding group of civic-minded people. They've really poured their heart and souls not only into this school, but into the whole bond campaign and the entire endeavor of this district. I'm really grateful to have their support. I especially want to single out, even though all 7 of them certainly were critical to getting this school underway, 3 of them, the 2 that represent this South Sandy and Draper area, Cheryl and Paul, as well as Kim Horiuchi. The 3 of them together really were instrumental in sort of buying my vision, if you will, of this high school and of the grade reconfiguration that really made this school not just a want but a necessity. And so I really want to personally thank the 3 of them as well as our entire board for their support in this process. I also would be remiss, I think, if I didn't thank personally all of the taxpayers and voters in the city of Draper. As you know, this $250 million bond campaign that Cheryl referred to was a hard-fought campaign, and we did not win it by much. But we won it in large part due to the support of the residents of the city of Draper. And I want to thank you not only for your support of what will be a beautiful community school here on this piece of property, but for your support for the rest of those bond funds that will be instrumental in renovating old, outdated schools throughout the rest of the district. So all of our schools and all of our communities have this community to thank, and I really appreciate your support. So again, we welcome you here today. At this time, I want to invite Dr. Paul McCarty, a member of our Board of Education, to speak for a few minutes about what this new school will mean to District 7, which is the district that he represents on the Board of Education. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Doty. I appreciate your remarks, and on behalf of the Canyons Board of Education, I thank you for your efforts to make sure that this new high school will benefit not only the students who will attend it, but the Draper community and beyond. Pause with me a moment, ladies and gentlemen, and gaze up here at this gorgeous rendition of what the school will be looking at. This is timeless architecture. It's not just a high school. It's a heritage place. It's a gathering place. The dome, that means a lot to the citizens of Draper. We all know about the roundhouse, one of the first early pioneer structures here. If you go up here just a few blocks north of us to the historic park, you see the gazebo dome that represents that roundhouse. The red brick, this represents our early pioneer heritage. But not only that, red represents that little red schoolhouse, something very important to education, especially here in Utah. For more than 30 years, I've been involved in the education of children. I'm currently a principal in the Granite School District, and I serve as an adjunct professor at Brigham Young University. And in my years of experience, I've learned some very valuable lessons about how a school can become the heart of a community, and I dare say with Canyon's academic innovations, as well as the parent and neighborhood support that we have felt from you all, from which Draper communities are known, this new high school is poised to become the lifeblood of this city. It truly will be the gathering place, our heritage place. As you can see from these big machines behind us, the crew at Hogan's and Associate Construction are gearing up to get started on a new school. I'd like to introduce the people who will be in charge of this major project. We have Mike Hogan. Mike, could you raise your hand? There's Mike. He's the president of Hogan and Associates. We have Dave Anderson. Dave, right in here. Dave is the project manager, and Bob Benyon, right over here, and Steve Spencer. They're our project superintendents. Gentlemen, we thank you in advance for the care that you will take into making sure that this school is the best and the best that we can build for our children. We're sure the community will be proud of this school, which will have these following features, and these are so exciting. State-of-the-art arts science labs. They are so advanced, in fact, that they have been built to accommodate future technological innovations that we anticipate to be developed and used in schools in the near future. We're building for the future and preparing for the future. Next, a perfect balance of academic, athletic, and extracurricular activities. I recently had the opportunity to meet and listen to former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. She doesn't like to use the word extracurricular activities because art definitely and all the associated areas are definitely strong part areas of our academic. In addition to an expanded cafeteria, this new school will have a beautiful, spacious commons area for the students and faculty to gather and begin uniting and developing in its own traditions, which is especially important to a new school. Again, looking at the picture behind us, you can see how it is so inviting for people to come. You can see, again, the timeless architecture represents something of our, not only our community, but our national heritage. This high school will also have a 120-seat lecture hall, a 1,200-seat auditorium, and a 3,300-seat capacity gymnasium to meet the NCAA standards. It will have over 1,200 parking stalls. It will have a state-of-the-art track, an artificial turf football field for seating of over 3,500 home spectators, and, in addition, over 1,200 visiting spectators. The school will also have 8 tennis courts so that we can start hosting regional and statewide competitions, a baseball and softball complex, and a driver education practice field with a control tower. Can't you just see the Friday night lights every fall football season right behind me? This is an incredibly exciting time, and we're thrilled to be here to make the official start of the work of this project. This is a vision that we all share, and we thank you all for all of your support in the construction of this school and to build the future. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure everybody's got their hard hats on in case we get any flying debris. Here we go. There we go. Everybody's got their shovels. They've got their hard hats on the count of 3. Let's turn some dirt, shall we? Everybody count along. 1, 2, 3.